Tonight on News 5 Live, the cause of death for the 3 American visitors found in a San Pedro hotel room has been revealed. Experts confirm they died from carbon monoxide poisoning. 6 months after admitting to stealing over $1 million from the National Sports Council, the court has ruled that Ivan Ayuso's home must be sold to repay the government of Belize. The United Democratic Party has finally introduced its opposition senators. Belize has been knocked out by Costa Rica in the Gold Cup qualifiers, and the Wonder Woman Challenge 2025 is now underway. Stay tuned for these stories and more right after these messages from our sponsors.
It's the sale event you've been waiting for, the Benny's Clearance Sale. It's going down at Benny's Contractor and Lumberyard, 2.5 miles on the Philip Golson Highway on Saturday, March 29th from 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Everything must go. Get up to 60% off Plycem, sheetrock, plywood, doors, paints, toilet accessories, best products, kitchen sinks, light fixtures, fans, faucets, tiles, and so much more. And with fantastic discounts going on right now, get even more deals on select items tour-wide. All you have to do is visit a Benny store near you. And don't forget your B-Bucks whenever you make a purchase. So remember, Benny's Contractor and Lumberyard is the place to be on Saturday, March 29th from 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. for Benny's Clearance Sale. See you there. Benny's, quality and savings.
Benny's, Benny's, oh, Benny's, Benny's.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Wednesday, March 26th. I am Sabrina Daly. A toxicology report has confirmed that carbon monoxide poisoning caused the deaths of 3 American women found in their hotel room at the Royal Cajal Beach Resort in San Pedro and Burgers Key. The tragic discovery of Kotar Nakad, Iman Mala, and Wafay El Arar was made on February 22nd. Since then, investigators have been working hard to determine what happened. The women were on vacation from Massachusetts. After the shocking discovery, their families demanded answers from local authorities, including the Belize Police Department. Earlier today, the results were shared with their loved ones, revealing the silent killer that claimed their lives.
So we received the toxicology results for the deaths of the 3 U.S. nationals from the hotel in San Pedro. We received those results today. The testing took, I believe, about 3 weeks, more or less, from the time the laboratory received the samples. And the results came back today, which we shared with the medical examiners, because they will need the toxicology results so as to update the cause of death. If you recall, the cause of death was written as acute pulmonary edema due to pending toxicology histology. So the medical examiner has received the report, so they can revise or update the cause of death. The police department case officer has received it as well. And before we schedule this interview, we also ensure that the family receive the toxicology results as well through the U.S. Embassy, who has been acting as the liaison. And we did a comprehensive toxicology screening, which is why it took a bit longer than the 2 weeks that we were anticipating it would take. As the commissioner explained to you previously, when we requested the toxicology analysis, we asked them to expedite the testing. And because we asked for several different tests to be done, it's not uncommon for sometimes the results to take longer than the time that the lab gave us. So we did a screening for all commonly encountered drugs, illicit drugs, pharmaceutical medications. We also screened for carbon monoxide as well as volatile gases.
According to Jian Cho, director of the National Forensic Science Services, investigators didn't find any illegal drugs in the hotel room. However, Commissioner of Police Chester Williams informed reporters this afternoon that a carbon monoxide test was conducted on the same day the bodies were discovered. Although those results came back negative, another test was later carried out by the Department of the Environment. Williams mentioned that they are still waiting for those results to be provided in writing.
So no illegal drugs, no illicit drugs. And the results reveal that the 3 victims all had fatal exposure to carbon monoxide. So carbon monoxide is being revealed, or has been revealed, as the contributing or the underlying exposure that led to the acute pulmonary edema, which was the final cause of death.
The same day when or the following day rather, after the bodies were found, test was done inside the room for carbon monoxide, and the test result was negative. Nonetheless, following information we have gotten through the U.S. Embassy, supported by what you all from the media had also reported, that there were some reports coming from persons who have stayed at the room before, indicating that they had used their own carbon monoxide tester and had detected carbon monoxide in one of the rooms. That prompted us to do another round of testing for carbon monoxide. Again, that was done by the Department of Environment and Fire. And we are still awaiting the result of that test that they did the second time around. So we have not received that in writing from them.
However, the Department of the Environment, the chief had said that they had detected levels of carbon monoxide, but you're saying nothing has been sent in writing. Like, what could be leading to that delay?
Yeah, indeed, yes, we have not received anything in writing from them. And again, we have always been focused on the fact that we want to await the results coming from the National Forensic Services that they have sent abroad. We believe that that would have been a more accurate and conclusive findings. And so we would have preferred to use that as the official release to indicate a cause of death. So we're happy that the Forensic Department has now received that report, giving us a better insight in terms of a conclusive cause of death.
Now that the results are out, is the Belize Police Department thinking about pressing charges against the island resort's owner? Also, how long will the Royal Cajal Beach Resort stay closed since we've learned what caused the tragic deaths of its 3 guests?
Certainly, from an investigative standpoint, carbon monoxide now being determined as the cause of death, it would not be. I don't think it would fall within the criminal domain. Nonetheless, we will still be forwarding the file to the Director of Public Prosecution with the findings, and then she's going to have the final determination as to whether or not she believes that the hotel can be held criminally liable. In the absence of that, then it would be a civil matter. I am sure that BTB and the Ministry of Health is going to look at this very closely now in light of the results that we have received. And you would know that under the Hoteliers Act, the hoteliers have an obligation to ensure that the hotel is kept in a safe and secure manner for those persons who are supposed to stay there. As a matter of fact, there is an annual inspection that must be done by the health inspector, and that report is sent to the Ministry of Health as well as to BTB. And if they do not pass that inspection, then that can lead to their license being suspended or revoked. So in light of this, there certainly do exist some health hazard. BTB and Ministry of Health will definitely do what needs to be done in ensuring that the hotel is not reopened until they are satisfied that that hazard that existed no longer exists.
Coming up, man who beat ex-wife's boyfriend with 2x4 to be sentenced.
And I'm the owner of Back to My Roots Art from the Heart, and in this store I produce a lot of handmade ornaments. Before I had access, it was a big problem because the tourist doesn't carry as much cash. We needed to have the machine to make the business a success. Dealing with the machine, I don't have to take time out from the store to go and or send people to go to the bank. I would recommend Belize Bank digital service because it has done a lot for me personally. It has done a lot for my business. It helps me with paying my bills online, and I really appreciate that the staff took time out and teach me what I needed to get done. So I'm very happy that now I can do it confidently on my own.
Welcome to Design Depot, where you'll find premium quality products from trusted brands, all in one place. Visit us today for quality products, expert service, and the brands you trust. Design Depot, all in one place.
Electricity is essential for everyday life, but behind every outlet, a lot is happening to bring you safe, reliable, and sustainable energy. Let's start at the beginning. Independent power producers across Belize generate electricity using a mix of renewable and non-renewable resources. Electricity travels across a network of high-voltage transmission lines capable of transmitting electricity across long distances. Electricity then reaches your nearest substation, where it is adjusted to a lower voltage, making it safe to travel on the distribution lines you see in your community. From there, electricity makes its final journey from the distribution lines to your home, providing you with safe and reliable power when you need it. Belize Electricity Limited. We continue to serve you.
20 years ago, we built a company that is about more than just connection through technology. We've been partners in progress, empowering communities, nurturing growth, and strengthening bonds. We've grown together, lifting not just businesses, but dreams, not just communities, but families. Because true success isn't measured in years, but in the lives we've touched, the opportunities we've created, and the connections we've made together.
As a Smart customer for the past 18 years, they have provided me with exceptional value and connected me to the most significant moments in my life.
For 20 years, Smart has been a pioneer in telecommunication innovation. From offering services in underserved areas to launching promotions that increase your connectivity.
They go beyond calls. They're committed to a brighter future for us all. That's why I'm proud to stand behind them.
As we look ahead, our mission to enrich your lifestyle with affordable, innovative, and cutting-edge wireless communication solutions is stronger than ever. We'll continue to connect what matters most, you. Smart, celebrating 20 years of bringing people together.
6 months ago, Ivan Ayuso, a former employee at the National Sports Council, admitted to laundering money and stealing over $1 million from the organization. On Monday, Justice Nigel Pilgrim delivered his verdict in the High Court. During the forfeiture proceedings, Justice Pilgrim expressed hope that this case wouldn't be the last of its kind, emphasizing Belize's role in the global fight to eliminate the profits from crime. The forfeiture has left Ayuso and his ex-wife without their family home. Justice Pilgrim's order outlined what will happen over the next 6 months. The house where Ayuso lived with his then-wife Tanya Raquel Savory on Jackfruit Crescent in Bilama Phase 2, Belize City, is to be sold. The market value is nearly $635,000, with a forced sale value of around $500,000. From the sale, 70% will go to the government and 30% to Ayuso's ex-wife. As part of a plea deal, Ayuso agreed not to contest the forfeiture, allowing the Crown to take the house, which he had paid off using stolen money. Representing the Crown were Director of Public Prosecutions Sherilyn Vidal, Crown Counsel Chanel Fernandez, and Director of the Financial Intelligence Unit, FIU, Lenny Isigeri Macan, along with Janelle Thomas Shorter from the FIU. Ayuso was represented by attorneys Darrell Bradley and Kimberly Wallace, while attorney Erin Quiros represented Ayuso's ex-wife as an interested party. The interested party can help find potential buyers for the property to ensure a timely sale. The FIU will handle the property's maintenance, including security, utilities, repairs, and general upkeep until it's sold. The FIU will also take immediate steps to sell the property. A report hearing is scheduled for September 23rd to update the court on the progress of the sale. Ayuso appeared virtually from his cell at the Belize Central Prison, where he is serving a 5-year sentence after pleading guilty to theft and money laundering charges. In late February, 25-year-old Elroy Williams pleaded guilty to attempted murder. Back in 2018, Williams attacked his estranged wife's boyfriend, 33-year-old Michael Jones, with a 2x4 wooden plank in Lord's Bank. Fast forward 7 years, Williams is now hoping for a non-custodial sentence as he faces 6 years in prison. Today, the court held a mitigation plea where Williams asked for a second chance to be with his family. He brought in two character witnesses, his mother and sister, to vouch for his good character. In his final comments to the court, Williams expressed hope that Jones's family could forgive him for his actions. Jones's impact statement was read aloud in court, detailing how his life was forever changed after the brutal attack. He recounted being in a coma for days, suffering broken bones and severe swelling. Jones shared that his medical treatment was costly and he was bedridden for months, unable to work. He said he wouldn't wish his condition on anyone. Williams was initially out on bail but was placed on remand in 2024 after failing to appear in court. The trial judge is expected to hand down a sentence on Thursday. On Tuesday, environmentalists and concerned residents of San Pedro protested the Cayo Rosario project. This large-scale development is planned for one of the islands near San Pedro, right within the Holchan Marine Reserve, which has everyone worried. Oceana Belize, along with the residents and environmentalists, is calling for stronger protection of the country's marine ecosystems, highlighting their crucial role in both the environment and the economy. In a statement on Facebook, Oceana Belize emphasized the growing threats to Belize's marine resources, which are essential for the tourism and fishing industries that many communities rely on. Although the project underwent an environmental impact assessment a few years ago, Chief Environmental Officer Anthony Mai reassured everyone that the developers have met all environmental requirements so far and clarified that no dredging has started yet.
There was a protest done there, but the process was because people are misinformed. First and foremost, people believe that they were doing excavation or dredging, which they were not. And so they were saying that the dredging was illegal, which again, if they do it according to the ECP, it's not illegal. So the current activity is not illegal. They do have permits to do that. The dredging component, if they dredge following the proper method, it won't be illegal as well because they do have clearance to dredge. The biggest issue is Ali in relation to this project back then around 2017. Was in relation to the fly fishing kind of area. Apparently the area is a very good area for fly fishing. And so they had some concern in relation to that because the project does have, I think, about 40 overwater structures that has been approved for that island. And so the project received environmental clearance in 2018 after they have signed up to an environmental compliance plan. Since 2018, the ECP has been modified, but slightly, not anything significant. And some development has occurred slightly, and then they were doing more kind of background information, finalizing the architectural plans, working with CBA to get CBA's approval, working with the mining unit to get permit to dredge, etc. So the project now is moving forward with creating the first pier, and I think they had requested permission to build model homes. So just some of the buildings that demonstrate to the public what the development is all about, right? And so they are currently on site, or they were on site yesterday with a barge and an excavator. They were installing piles for the pier. So they were not excavating, they were not dredging, and they're not doing any of that. And so we did respond along with personnel from the Holchan Marine Reserve, and we observed that the activities on site is permissible under the current ECP.
Mai said the DOE will have a meeting shortly, including with its San Pedro office to develop a monitoring program for the project to oversee it as it progresses. News 5 also reached out to Minister of the Blue Economy, Andre Perez, who is the area representative for Belize Rural South. He indicated that the entire Cayo Rosario project is now being dealt with fully by all relevant government departments and that a meeting is set for Monday to further discuss the project and to review all the documents pertaining to the development of Cayo Rosario. On Tuesday, Cayo South Area Representative Julius Espat submitted his 13th Integrity Report. By being open about his finances, Espat builds trust with the public. When elected officials declare their assets, it shows they're not using their position for personal gain. This kind of transparency boosts the integrity of public service and strengthens confidence in government institutions. It's crucial for holding officials accountable and can deter corruption by making it harder to hide illicit gains and spotting any unexplained wealth or conflicts of interest.
I think it's extremely important is to show transparency and accountability in your personal assets. The law is designed that any individual that is elected, and that goes for the mayors and all the area reps, should declare their assets from the first year that they have been elected. And the law also says that when you stop from being elected, you still have to submit the declaration for 5 years more. It's part of accountability, it's part of good governance, and I think it's something that is healthy for democracy, and I would strongly recommend that every elected official do so. I have done so from the first day that I was elected. This week was my 13th declaration. And there are penalties, if I'm not mistaken, there are penalties of $100 a day from the date that you haven't handed in your last declaration. I don't believe it. Anybody has been charged with it, but that's the law. As far as I remember, the United Democratic Party, under the leadership of Prime Minister Barrow, had cleared all area reps from declaring up to 2016. We had that vigorous debate in the House as to why he did that, but it was done. As far as I understand, it is from 2016 to date that is pending.
The United Democratic Party has announced the appointment of 3 new opposition senators in the National Assembly. Former Collet Area Representative Patrick Faber is the new lead senator for the opposition. Faber, who was first elected to the House of Representatives in 2003 at age 24, served 5 consecutive terms for the Collet division. He is well known for his long tenure as Minister of Education, Youth, Sports and Culture, where he led significant reforms in education and youth development. Joining him is attorney Sheena Pitts, who has served as chairperson of the Labor Complaints Tribunal and Commission on the People's Constitution Commission. She is also the interim chair of the UDP. Lastly, Gabriel Zetina, a resident of San Pedro who has worked in youth outreach, has been appointed as an opposition parliamentarian. The United Democratic Party believes these appointments reflect a renewed focus on principled leadership, constitutional reform, and people-centered governance. However, opposition leader Tracy Tager-Panton has expressed the need for representation of the South. After the break, SIB shows consumer confidence falls and cost of living up in February. But first, here's the latest weather update from the Belize Met Service.
My name is Carlton Flowers, and I'm the owner of Back to My Roots Art from the Heart. And in this store I produce a lot of handmade ornaments. Before I had access, it was a big problem because the tourist doesn't carry as much cash. We needed to have the machine to make the business a success. Dealing with the machine, I don't have to take time out from the store to go and, or send people to go to the bank. I would recommend Belize Bank Digital Service because it has done a lot for me personally. It has done a lot for my business. It helps me with paying my bills online, and I really appreciate that the staff took time out and teach me what I needed to get done. So I'm very happy that now I can do it confidently on my own.
to Design Depot, where you'll find premium quality products from trusted brands, all in one place. Visit us today for quality products, expert service, and the brands you trust. Design Depot, all in one place.
Electricity is essential for everyday life, but behind every outlet, a lot is happening to bring you safe, reliable, and sustainable energy. Let's start at the beginning. Independent power producers across Belize generate electricity using a mix of renewable and non-renewable resources. Electricity travels across a network of high-voltage transmission lines capable of transmitting electricity across long distances. Electricity then reaches your nearest substation, where it is adjusted to a lower voltage, making it safe to travel on the distribution lines you see in your community. From there, electricity makes its final journey from the distribution lines to your home, providing you with safe and reliable power when you need it. Belize Electricity Limited. We continue to serve you.
20 years ago, we built a company that is about more than just connection through technology. We've been partners in progress, empowering communities, nurturing growth, and strengthening bonds. We've grown together, lifting not just businesses, but dreams, not just communities, but families. Because true success isn't measured in years, but in the lives we've touched, the opportunities we've created, and the connections we've made together.
As a Smart customer for the past 18 years, they have provided me with exceptional value and connected me to the most significant moments in my life.
For 20 years, Smart has been a pioneer in telecommunication innovation. From offering services in underserved areas to launching promotions that increase your connectivity.
They go beyond calls. They're committed to a brighter future for us all. That's why I'm proud to stand behind them.
As we look ahead, our mission to enrich your lifestyle with affordable, innovative, and cutting-edge wireless communication solutions is stronger than ever. We'll continue to connect what matters most, you. Smart, celebrating 20 years of bringing people together.
Today, the Caribbean Court of Justice wrapped up a two-day hearing in a legal battle between the government of Belize and 4 private liquefied petroleum gas (LPG) companies. The government is challenging a 2024 Court of Appeal decision that found it violated the company's constitutional rights to work and property by preventing them from importing LPG into Belize. This dispute stems from a 2019 law that established National Gas Company Limited as the sole importer of LPG in the country. Senior counsels Eamon Courtney, Edward Fitzgerald, and Angeline Welch as King's Counsel Andrew Marshallek represented the appellants. On the other side, senior counsels Godfrey Smith and Douglas Mendez appeared for the LPG companies. News 5's Paul Lopez has more on this story.
Over 2 days, the Caribbean Court of Justice listened to 10 hours of arguments in the legal dispute between the government of Belize and 4 private liquefied petroleum gas companies. Senior Counsel Eamon Courtney kicked things off, making the first submissions on behalf of the Attorney General of Belize.
There is an insinuation, to put it in the most anodyne way. Government was acting from a position of perhaps bad faith or ill will in seeking to put the respondents out of business. That is not so. The Amendment Act, Your Honors, is a clear piece of evidence that the government was not intending to put them out of business. The government was intending to move the supply of LPG from road to sea through a facility that advanced the purposes.
In the early stages of the legal battle, when the 4 companies were up in arms over NGC's operations, Parliament stepped in and amended the National Liquefied Petroleum Gas Project Act.
The government leveled the playing field on the importation side and provided the right for someone to apply for a license to import LPG through an approved facility.
However, the law only approves facilities with a storage capacity of 1.5 million gallons. The LPG companies argued that this requirement isn't economically feasible for them. Attorney Douglas Mendes, representing his clients, claimed that while there's an option for these companies to import through NGC's facility, it's just a pretense.
By imposing impossible or commercially unviable, if that's a word, conditions to enter the market, you in effect maintain the monopoly. And that is the point that we make. So the monopoly still exists because you have on the face of it, it's written in the act that you're permitted entry, but you really can't enter because it is financially prohibitive, as the evidence indicates, to build a 1.5 million gallon plant, and just simply does not make sense to have us import through the NGC's terminal when that relationship is totally unregulated.
When the National Gas Company Limited was established, a decision was taken to import LPG exclusively by sea from the US to the company's port facility. This brought an end to the trucking system that the private companies had in place. Attorney for Appellant Senior Counsel Angeline Welch argued that this approach decreases the risk of supply shortages, provides for cheaper gas, and places the supply chain in the hands of Belizeans.
The LPG was shipped to terminals in Guatemala, Honduras and El Salvador, and then it was trucked into Belize. By the time the LPG was trucked into Belize, the cost of the LPG to the end customer in Belize was the Mont Belvieu price and the cost of those terminals and the transportation, plus any profit element. So as Mr. Courtney explained, the supply chain was operated and controlled by sister companies of the LPG companies. So those costs for the terminal, the transportation, and any profits made were for that oligopoly which existed before the legislation.
But the attorney for the 4 companies, Godfrey Smith, argues that the move violates his clients' right to work.
The right is hindered. It is fettered. What the Constitution guarantees to the respondents is that you have unfettered, unhindered right to engage in a trade or business that you freely choose.
Right.
So that they freely choose.
Right, but
importation.
After a long 9-hour hearing, Senior Counsel Eamon Courtney wrapped up his remarks to the court by addressing Mendes' claim that the new law is just for show.
Mr. Mendes, my learned friend, took the liberty of alleging that the act and the amendment were pretenses, or certainly the amendment was a pretense by the government, and to fake the fact that it was opening the market. A simple read of the legislation will show that it was the intention of the government to liberate the market on the conditions set out in there. There is absolutely no basis to support the allegation, and I urge this court to reject it out of hand.
In his closing statement, Mendes requested that the court consider if the playing field is leveled.
As the legislation treated the respondents and NGC in an even-handed manner. That's basically what it is. And therefore, you have to look, what are the attributes relevant to the question of being able to meet the requirements of a 1.5 million gallon storage plant? How are we, what are our comparable circumstances relative to that requirement? And the answer to that is they have all these benefits.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
The Statistical Institute of Belize reported that the Consumer Confidence Index for February 2025 showed a drop in confidence among Belizean households. This indicates that people were generally feeling pessimistic about their economic future. The index fell from a little over 50 in January to 46 in February, marking an 8.9% decrease in consumer confidence. The Consumer Confidence Index measures how optimistic or pessimistic consumers are about their financial situation over the next year. Interestingly, the SIB also noted that the cost of living increased in February compared to the same time last year. News 5's Marian Ali delves into the latest data shared by the SIB today.
In the first 2 months of 2025, the cost of living went up by 1.9%. In February alone, it increased by 1.6% compared to February of 2024. The Consumer Price Index from the Statistical Institute of Belize highlighted that the biggest contributors to this rise were the cost of food and non-alcoholic drinks, housing, utilities, and fuel. Statistician Hefte Ochayeta provided the details.
Under the food and non-alcoholic beverages, we saw that there was an increase of 2.4%. And this was mainly driven by an increase of 12.8% in the prices of fruits and nuts, as we observed several fruits increasing significantly, like watermelon, limes, and pineapple. Cereal products also experienced an increase of 3.3%, as we saw an increase in the price of white bread, biscuits, and pasta products. The beverages components of the food and non-alcoholic beverages also increased, with increases throughout the categories like fruits and vegetable juices by 15.4%, where we experienced increases in all the drinks, like natural orange juice, increasing by 25.3%, fruit drinks, powder drinks, and also in purified water and soft drinks. In the housing and electricity and water and gas and other fuels, we also saw an increase of 2.4%. And this was mainly attributed to an increase in rent of 2.5% for the period, an increase in 6% of LPG, natural gas, butane.
Interestingly, the Consumer Confidence Index showed a drop in confidence among Belizean households in February. This means people were generally feeling pessimistic about their economic future. The index fell from 50.5 in January to 46 in February. The Consumer Confidence Index measures how optimistic or pessimistic consumers are about their finances over the next year. Statistician Jacqueline Sabal explained that the SIB surveyed 1,200 households to determine this, with the index ranging from 0, completely pessimistic, to 100, completely optimistic.
The idea behind the CCI is that economic uncertainty or a decline in consumer confidence creates pessimism and reduces desires to spend, while economic optimism encourages consumer confidence and a willingness to make significant purchases and other debt commitments. For the month of February 2025, the Consumer Confidence Index stood at 46. This represents a decrease of 8.9% from January 2025, when the index stood at 50.5.
Although the SIB can't pinpoint why people feel the way they do about spending, Director General Diana Castillo noted that they've observed a general improvement in how consumers feel.
There has been a general improvement in consumer sentiment. People have been getting less and less pessimistic, and in general we actually crossed the threshold into optimistic. In February now we saw a slight reversion back to below 50 to pessimistic territory. The general trend has been upwards, but I can't really say why people feel the way they feel. This just captures how they feel.
At SIB's first presentation of 2025, they shared data on the GDP growth for the fourth quarter of 2024, revealing that the economy grew by 7.1%. Statistician Christopher Hulse presented these findings.
Goods and services produced in the fourth quarter of 2024 total $1.43 billion. This is an increase of $94.49 million or 7.1% when we compare it to the fourth quarter of 2023, which was at $1.33 billion. Looking at the $1.43 billion, we can see how that is spread across the three sectors with taxes. Primary contributed $157.8 million out of that $1.43 billion. Then secondary, $170.3 million. Tertiary, $907.2 million. And then taxes, $190.2 million.
Ronald Oriana shared that Belize did better in the first 2 months of this year in terms of merchandise trade statistics, which track our imports and exports over the past 2 months.
Starting with the merchandise imports, we have a line graph showing how imports have performed over the past 10 years for the first 2 months of January and February. Despite a current decrease in imports when compared to 2024, imports have been on an upward trend since 2021. The total merchandise imports for the first 2 months of the year amounted to $461 million, down 7.8% or $38.8 million when compared to imports for the first 2 months in 2024. In general, exports have been on a downward trend with notable fluctuations seen across most of these years. The total domestic exports for the first 2 months of 2025 amounted to $40.4 million, representing a growth of 7.7% or $3 million compared to the same period in 2024.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Marian Ali.
When we return, a whirlwind of chaos for Belize football.
Manuel, it looked like the draw stuck again. I think we need to go to Builders Hardware.
Again? We can't read us our online?
Oh, that's right. Manuel, I forgot the draw slides.
Digi is bringing the power of connectivity to every corner of Belize with our Digi on-the-go mobile store.
Ma, Digi dia.
Digi dia?
Don't say. Sign up for the fastest, most reliable home fiber service, purchase the latest device, or explore our wide range of services. This one-of-a-kind mobile store has it all. Our dedicated team brings the same high-quality in-store experience to you, ensuring you stay connected with friends, family, and the world.
You guys bringing the mobile here, it's really helpful, saving a lot of money for people going from the town, especially like in Punta Gorda, which is 25 miles away from here, which will cost a couple dollars for them to reach there. So having these caravan here It's a lot easier, it's a lot cheaper, and you know, people are taking advantage. As you can see, we have a lot of people coming out today to purchase some of these devices, top-ups and even postpaid that they're eager to have, no?
Digi is connecting Belize one community at a time. Look out for the Digi on-the-go mobile store with exclusive deals and offers in a community near you. Follow us on our Digi Facebook page to see where we will be next.
Digi, our national telecom.
Veracidad, imparcialidad.
Hemos estado haciendo el trabajo como organización.
Y tus noticias en español.
Están en aguas beliceñas, entonces esta bandera se queda aquí.
Sintoniza Canal 5 cada viernes a las 7 de la noche.
Tenemos que resolver dos grandes problemas de este país.
Su voz importa, su acción cuenta.
Transfusión sanguínea, elementos que indican un deterioro evidente del estado de salud.
Somos Noticiero 5 semanal.
Perdió la vida en un heroico intento de proteger a su hermano. El Tribunal de Magistrados de la ciudad de Belice se paralizó. La policía está investigando 2 asesinatos separados.
Tu fuente de información.
A big part of sustainability is the livelihood of the people.
El agua es importante para nosotros, para la gente. Sin agua no es vida. Pero hoy que tenemos agua las 24 horas, somos felices. Con agua, todo es una vida.
The 3 communities now have access to quality and quantity of water that they didn't have before. Having a rehabilitated system that, for example, can ensure that even while you have these disasters, flood events that will last from a week to 2, that you still have a continuous supply of water, quality water. Health is one of the basic elements that we need. And these communities, again, because they're remote, they don't have access to 24-hour services. Having a polyclinic with 24-hour service addresses the issue of basic health services to the wide population of communities.
El proyecto solar también el benefició bastante porque ahora antes el cobro de luz venía de $1,050 a $800 y ahora ya normalizó como 3 meses, estamos pagando $500 o 530 es lo más. Sé que hay varias personas varias organizaciones que ayudaron y de parte de la aldea de Bilbao, pues todos estamos agradecidos. Gracias por todo lo que hicieron en la aldea.
Look here, your kitchen light there and you never in the kitchen.
Mama going back in there right now.
And the coffee maker?
Just to try keep me the coffee warm for later.
Where do you know?
I'll try to think more to eat.
You know the more you open or close the fridge, it takes longer for the food cool.
Uh-huh.
For a hot day like today, it burns more energy. You charge your phone right now?
No.
Plug it out then. You really only wash 2 Lee socks and 1 Lee shirt? You don't know what small load burn the same amount of electricity as large loads?
But this is my favorite shirt.
You have to be more energy efficient. Use large loads. This AC, the blow hard. You know, if you keep the temperature at 25 degrees Celsius or higher, you burn less energy and you also keep the place cool. And for a nice day like today, turn off the AC, open up the house and make some fresh breeze come in.
You know what? I think I get it now. As consumers, we need to be more energy efficient and practice energy conservation.
taking care of your laundry so you can take care of your family.
The past 5 days have been a whirlwind for the Belize senior men's national football team and the Football Federation of Belize. Belize suffered a crushing defeat, losing 13-1 in aggregate goals against Costa Rica in the CONCACAF Gold Cup prelims, which means they won't be advancing to the Gold Cup. Adding to the turmoil, several team members sat out the first match in protest over what they consider unfair compensation from the Federation. A regional sports journalist who was in Belize for the initial match went viral after calling Belize one of the most disorganized teams in the region. This has fueled demands for the resignation of FFB President Sergio Chuk and his executive team. Meanwhile, the newly appointed Minister of Sports, Anthony Mahler, has pledged to transform sports in Belize. News 5's Paul Lopez has more on this story.
Football fans across the country are demanding the resignation of the entire Football Federation of Belize management. These calls have grown louder following Belize's crushing defeat by Costa Rica in the CONCACAF Gold Cup prelims. The FFB operates under FIFA regulations and is independent of the government of Belize, so these demands might be futile unless FIFA steps in. When we spoke with FFB President Sergio Chuk on Monday, he insisted that there were no major issues within the national team.
But the fact is that there are no major issues. There are certainly bumps on the way, and as soon as they come, we always do our best to address them. The truth is we were not expecting to beat Costa Rica. It's almost impossible. But at the same time, we were not expecting to get the 7 thrashing. We were hoping that the results would have been 2 or 3 max. No?
Chuck is talking about the first leg of the match on Friday night at the FFB Stadium. After the game, head coach Charles Slusher shared that key players had abandoned the team in protest over what they believe to be unfair compensation.
If you guys know the history, this have been happening before every game. There's a controversy over money and everything else. Listen, I'm always encouraged. I will always fight for my players, for them to get their reward and just.
Players receive a daily stipend of $100, but only if they attend both training sessions. When traveling, this amount doubles to $200. Regional sports journalist Yashin Quesada, who was in Belize covering the match, claimed that Belize has the most disorganized team in the region.
De esto para ver la diferencia. I'll just give you 2 anecdotes about this to see the difference. You saw the photo of the bus. Costa Rica has a luxury bus. Belize national team had a little bus for like the local line, not a luxury bus. They were demanding $50 Belize dollars, which is 25 American dollars, for travel expenses. Listen, that is why 2 players resigned. I was waiting for the Belizean Federation for a taxi, because not like here, where I ask for a taxi practically anywhere. There are no private platform. One young man appeared and said that he is a taxi and will take me. He was one of the midfielders for the Belize national team. We played against possibly the most disorganized team in the entire area with the least resources.
Belize's performance in the second leg of the match has sparked heavy criticism from the public. The game, played on Tuesday night at Costa Rica's National Stadium, saw Team Belize fall 6-1. Costa Rica scored 3 goals within the first 7 minutes. Belize's Carlos Bernardes managed to score the team's only goal. After the defeat, newly appointed Minister of Sports Anthony Mahler took to Facebook to reassure Belizeans that sports in the country will be reconstructed, reset and reimagined, reinforcing his commitment from last week.
Minister Devin Daly and I, we have the will and the urgency and the focus and the drive to get it done. You will see marked improvement within the first 100 days. I assure you of that. I assure the nation of that. We don't come for play, we come for work serious.
However, it's still unclear what Minister Mahler and his Minister of State Devin Daly can do to get involved in the affairs of the FFB, given that the organization primarily answers to FIFA. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
Up next, who will be the Wonder Women of 2025?
Enhanced service and faster sickness benefit claim processing are at your fingertips with SSB's healthcare feature accessible via the My Social Security self-service portal. Your convenience during illness is key. Now your doctor can certify your period of illness and your employer can confirm your employment details digitally, eliminating the need to visit our office. But wait, it gets better. You can also review the medical certificate provided by your doctor in your My Social Security account, along with real-time processing updates, keeping you informed. To ensure a smooth process, always review your electronic medical certificate before you hit submit. Upon submission, your employer is notified via email of your claim submitted to SSB and must respond within 48 hours for your claim to be automatically processed. For more information, check out our guides on our website and YouTube pages. Online sickness benefit claims become mandatory within the first quarter of 2025. Social Security at your fingertips.
La formación del Centro Neurológico del Hospital Galenia es que esas enfermedades que son altamente complejas y que muchos de nuestros pacientes tenían que emigrar hacia otra parte de la República u otra parte de México, ahora pueden ser atendidos aquí.
La atención quirúrgica en el centro neurológico se forma dentro de un grupo multidisciplinario que incluye tanto neurólogos, médicos internistas, ortopedistas, neurocirujanos, pediatras. Y este esfuerzo que se ha realizado para conjuntar todos los especialistas es para siempre brindar al paciente un abordaje multidisciplinario y transversal.
Evidentemente, mientras más rápido podamos llegar al diagnóstico de los pacientes, más rápido podemos tratarlos, resolverlos y por ende mejor resultado vamos a tener al final. Entonces creo que la prioridad y el fundamento principal de un proyecto como este es justamente eso, que no se pierda tiempo de forma innecesaria para poder al final del día llegar al mejor de los resultados con un tratamiento completo, integral y oportuno.
Y las visiones desde diferentes perspectivas nos permiten tener pues el mejor tratamiento y la mejor opción para el paciente.
Tenemos la capacidad técnica, operativa, profesional y la infraestructura de poder establecer una atención neurológica de alta calidad.
Years ago, we built a company that is about more than just connection through technology. We've been partners in progress, empowering communities, nurturing growth, and strengthening bonds. We've grown together, lifting not just businesses, but dreams, not just communities, but families. Because true success isn't measured in years, but in the lives we've touched, the opportunities we've created, and the connections we've made together.
As a Smart customer for the past 18 years, They have provided me with exceptional value and connected me to the most significant moments in my life.
For 20 years, SMART has been a pioneer in telecommunication innovation, from offering services in underserved areas to launching promotions that increase your connectivity.
They go beyond calls. They're committed to a brighter future for us all. That's why I'm proud to stand behind them.
As we look ahead, our mission to enrich your lifestyle with affordable, innovative, and cutting-edge wireless communication solutions is stronger than ever. We'll continue to connect what matters most, you. SMART, celebrating 20 years of bringing people together.
It's time to wake up, move, and feel amazing. Get your heart pumping and your energy flowing with Morning Boost. A fun and dynamic workout show to kickstart your day. Whether you're a beginner or a fitness pro, we've got the moves to keep you motivated. So grab your mat, set your alarm, and let's get moving. Morning Boost, weekdays at 6 a.m., only on Channel 5.
Unwrap the joy of crystal clear picture and sound from Iowa, the brand that offers you affordability and exceptional quality. Iowa has a wide range of exceptional products to choose from, such as TVs, speakers, headphones, home appliances, and much more at affordable prices that won't break the bank. Enhance your audio-visual entertainment experience with Iowa, and for your convenience, parts are readily available in country for hassle-free maintenance. You can find Iowa products at your local electronics store countrywide. Choose Iowa, the best in home entertainment and household appliances.
Coming up, Carnival was in the air as Exodus played its part once again. Home away from home, Barbadian style. Antigua's Black Pineapple, locally grown and good for you too. Top-level sports featuring tomorrow's talents. It's all next on this station.
March is International Women's Month, and the women of the Belize Coast Guard, Belize Defense Force, and Belize Police Department have started their celebrations with a bang. This morning, they kicked off day one of the Wonder Woman Competition 2025. This exciting three-day event is designed to test their endurance and strength through various challenges and boost team morale. News 5's Brittany Gordon has the story.
Who will emerge victorious in the Wonder Woman Competition 2025? That's the question on everyone's mind as the women of the Belize Coast Guard, Belize Defense Force, and the Belize Police Department compete. For nearly a decade, these women have come together to foster camaraderie and test their strengths. Lieutenant Commander Jasmine Bellini of the Belize Coast Guard is coordinating the event, and she shares her hopes for the competition's outcome.
The objective of this is just, especially during Women's Month, to just have an outlet when it comes to expressing your being as a woman, working together, the competitive nature, competing, representing your organization, and something outside of just the normal day-to-day routine. And it's mostly to build morale and represent your unit and represent your organization and represent yourself as a woman in Belize.
Day one kicked off with a series of 5 grueling challenges under the sweltering heat. First up was the annual Personal Fitness Test, APFT, where participants tackled sets of sit-ups, push-ups, pull-ups, and ran laps around the compound. Later, the women returned for a 2-mile run and a mile swim. We caught up with Lieutenant Commander Alma Pinella of the Belize Coast Guard, Alphas, after she completed the first round of the event.
Right now we're feeling good. You know, you never know what the teams will do in terms of the push-ups and sit-ups. I know for our run we did really good. We pushed ourselves really hard. So it's a team effort. So it doesn't matter that if I did it in 15 minutes and my team does it in 20, the overall time will be 20 minutes. But we're feeling good. I think that we're pretty much close, neck and neck with BDF at this point.
The 3-day event began as an internal competition for the women of the Belize Coast Guard, but was later extended to other participants. The Belize Defense Force team, Phoenix, are the reigning champions and are back to defend their title. Lance Corporal Suliani Pakwil says her team is ready for the challenges ahead.
The energy is very active. At first I was nervous, and I believe everybody is nervous, but I think we went there and did a great job. I mean, we are very energetic. We have a lot of strength, and then this first APFT is, of course, I know in my head and in my teammates' head that we did better.
Back for the third time is the Belize Police Department's team, Police Brave Hearts. Assistant Superintendent Jane Usher explains that while the team remains the underdogs, they are excited for the opportunity to build connections with other women and push beyond their limitations.
We lose every year, but the third year is a charm. So this year we're going for it. But like I said, we're new to it, we're learning, we're fielding our girls even while they're working. So we're just giving it our best for the department and for the love of the competition and the effort the Coast Guard is putting in, and to give that rivalry between our departments, build a camaraderie, and go for it as best as we can to show the girls, to show the department that we have what it takes to compete and to do well.
Training for the event commenced in December last year, with participants working hard to build their endurance and speed. While the event certainly challenges their physical capabilities, Bellini emphasizes its success in boosting team morale and fostering teamwork.
It also brought out a sense of competitiveness and pride, So apart from that, you see a different energy when it comes to the women that are competing. Even for the supporters that are here supporting the women, they all want to see their teams do good. And apart from that, you see them interacting with each other, because most of it is the females coming to support other females. So even though we have our own respective teams that we're cheering on, we're also making connections and talking to the women from the other service, which is also the part of the competition, to get to know other women in your force, in your organization, and uplift each other, whether we're winning or not.
The challenge concludes on Friday with a shooting competition at the Hattieville Gallery Range, after which scores will be tallied and a winner declared. Brittany Gordon for News 5.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at channel5belize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, good night.